Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. Guys, I am so sorry. My day job, and a lot of you guys know, takes me out of town quite a bit lately. And it didn't used to be quite as hectic, but with all these projects they've got going on, I have been literally running every single week, 5 days a week for the last actually almost 7 weeks now. But the good news is there is light on the horizon, and I don't think it's going to be happening again until sometime next year. So hopefully we'll be able to get back on a regular shooting schedule. Oh, and speaking of shooting, here we go. Now folks, I want to keep this video a little bit lighthearted. There are a couple of things that I wanted to introduce, but we're not going to do that yet because they're not quite ready. Besides, I want to make sure that we do justice. We found a belly band holster manufacturer, guys, and you are really, really going to like them. But I don't want to, until we are ready to go, which will hopefully be by the end of this week, I want to make sure that I do them justice and show these to you guys in a way that, you know, is relatable and yet shows that they function and they're cost effective and they're good and yada, 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 yada. That being said, a lot of you guys out there have been asking for ways to help the channel so that we can continue to grow. Now, I have never had merch, per se. It's not really my style, guys. I mean, you guys know that. But that being said, a lot of people have been buying Scullies, the 3D printed skulls, and I've got those over on the website there. By the way, YouTube, there are no firearms on this channel. In this video or in any link that I put down there, no firearms at all. None on the website, no firearms accessories on the website, no firearms on the channel. Just making sure you remember that. That being said, I do have the Scullies up there. People do seem to like those, but people were asking for other items. So I had a vendor last week approach me here in the flea market. I want to show you these. These are tumblers that she makes. Guys, I don't have Stumpy on today because, and I'll tell you why that is in a second, you're going to laugh. But I'm going to bring these over to you. Look at this. Rotate out. So these are tumblers that my vendor actually made for me for the channel. Check out Scully on that one, guys. Isn't that awesome? And this one is like super, super, I think my wife would say blingy. But yeah, you get the idea. Scully on there with the logo, the whole 9 yards. I am going to go ahead and put these up on the website, hopefully tomorrow. We had a little bit of a family tragedy. We lost one of our pets that we've had for 15 years last night, so there won't be a lot getting done tonight. That being said, I wanted to make sure that you guys had available. If you do want to help the channel, I will have them up there. And everything that you get from the channel, by the way, these are all going to be custom. So they may look exactly like this, but when you order one or the other, there may be minor variations. And that's cool because then they're all handmade. But that's my first thing for merch. I wanted to make sure that we were helping out a vendor here and giving you guys something cool to help the channel in the future. So there you are. That being said, let's fire the Paradigm, shall we? Now, a little bit of stipulation on the testing on this. We are going to test today with the Pepperball VXR shaped rounds. All right, now these are the inert powder rounds. David has not yet sent me the magazine for the ball ammo, but that is coming. And the next thing we're putting through these are Grimberg Jewels. And that's something I have been really looking forward to because, guys, I have tested, I can't even tell you how many, 68 caliber rounds. Everything from the quick access balls to the standard generic stuff you find on Amazon to Byrna, all the way up the chain. And the Grimberg Jewels are by far the most brutal rounds that I have currently found. And I can't wait to put those into this thing to test it. Now, let's crack this thing open, guys. I want to, a couple of questions that people have been asking me is how, once you get into the PCP air rifle thing, in other words, you've got a pre-charged pneumatic cylinder that is on the launcher itself. And how are you going to charge those if you're Joe Blow end user? Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. And I'm going to have links for all this down in the description, guys. There's a hand pump that you can take that bottle, quick connect to it, and pump this thing up. Takes about, 10 to 15 minutes to get a full charge on this. It is a workout. If you want to do that, cool, and I'll have a link down there for you in the description. Now, the other option, and this is a lot more preferable, I'll be honest. They've got little compressors that will charge these up in about 3 minutes. It's really, really cool. They're very small. They'll plug into your wall. They'll plug into your terminals on your car, and they'll charge them up. But my preferred method, if you've got a scuba tank, there is a quick connect. Once again, guys, I will have links down there for you. And you can pick up a scuba tank cheap on any of the marketplaces out there. It's a quick connect, and all you do is connect the quick connect to it and then turn the valve on for a second, fills it right back up, turn it off. It's super quick, it's super easy, and you can get a bajillion refills out of one tank, which is really, really cool. Yes, that is an actual number. So those are the ways you can charge this thing up. So tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get, I'm not even gonna waste any time, guys. I want you to see this thing firing. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get the rounds loaded up in here. We're gonna go out onto the range and we're gonna test this open sight. And the reason we're gonna do that is because when you fire this, this has got a stabilized air output. In other words, it's not gonna do like a CO2 weapon where your first round is way up here and then it might go down to here and then da. These are going to stay consistent. So the first shot you fire out of this should give you an eyeball about where it's going to fire. Then you should be able to follow all the rest of the shots up because theoretically, they're going to the same point, which is hugely important. All right, guys, tell you what, let's head out to the range and let's do this. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Here we go. All right, guys, so you can see we're on our range here. Now, you may notice that we don't have a Scully down there today. We have got a zombie. Now, look, I don't know about you guys. I don't like zombies in my house. So we're going to square away that zombie. So as you can see, we've actually got the magazine fully loaded with the inert rounds all the way around there. By the way, these new magazines, when you get a brand new one, they are stiff. I mean stiff. So when you put the rounds in, you'll feel the spring compressing. My guess is that will lighten up over time, but boy, they are super stiff. All right. So as you can see, we've got our air tank charged up. Now, we only charge this up to about 2,500 PSI. It will go higher than that, but that's where we wanted to kind of start this thing off at. So we're going to go ahead and put in our magazine. There we go. And as you can see, we are depressurized right now. One of the things I love about this launcher, on this side, you've got the button to pressurize it. So in other words, you can leave your tanks engaged, but only pressurize it when you need it. Now that's something a lot of you guys have actually asked about if you're going to use this in a home defense scenario. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pressurize by pushing this button. You hear that click? That click means you are good to go. You already have a mag. As soon as the magazine goes up, it chambers the first round. So I tell you what we're going to do. I am going to move you guys up here. Now look. This is the picnic table. You guys know where I fire from, way back here. So from this distance to there is 45 feet, okay? Let me move you. By the way, I don't have Stumpy hooked up right now because I forgot to bring all the SD cards from the house. Yeah, don't laugh at me. My mind has been elsewhere today. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to try really super hard to not hit my camera. I am going to aim for the head. Now, the first shot, guys, I have no idea where it's going to go. So we're going to move back here, and we're going to try, here we go, all the way back here to the picnic table. Okay, and putting on glasses. There we go. All right. We are taking our first shot. Let's see where it goes, and we will adjust from there. All right, so you can see we're a little bit to the left. I'm going to adjust right. Okay, that looks like I might have that on target. I'm going to move. There we go. Backing up a tiny bit. Let me try it one more time. I'm firing open sight, guys. It's right against my cheek. All right, guys, so I've got 10 rounds loaded in here, only 10. And what I want to do is, and I did that, guys, because I didn't fully charge my bottle, and so I wanted to make sure that we're getting all of the rounds out of there. We're still at about 1,500 PSI. So let me go ahead, we're going to back up here, and I'm going to just see what happens if Mr. Intruder walks into our house. And I'm firing blind again, guys. Sorry about the audio. I'm trying not to. Okay, guys, I want to pause here for just a second. Now, did you see that every one of those shots went directly into the center of his face? All right, look, I don't think there's any question of the accuracy of the launcher. I mean, none whatsoever. And I am curious, you know what? Let me look at something here. Even though, here we go again. Even though we're firing the pepper rounds, guys, we are getting unbelievable penetration through here. I mean, it's going all the way through the backboard. It's actually going into the wall back here. which means that they're coming out of there at a pretty crazy velocity. Now, on the next video that we have shooting these, and I wanted to hold off on it because I want to make absolutely sure that we have all of the ammo we're going to test. We're going to test velocities, and I want to test, I'd like to test at a couple different ranges, but it's going to be a little difficult to do that without blasting my chronometer. But as you guys can see, I just put 5 down there, and they were right into the same hole every shot. That's accurate. Now, I expected that. I'm not going to lie. Guys, this is the same launcher that we went out on the range with, and we actually were able to hit targets at 100 yards within a 5-inch circle. Bam, 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 like a laser beam using a sight. So I had zero doubt of what it was going to do when we were actually just firing direct like this. So, yeah, it's awesome. I'll tell you what, let's go back in the office. I want to talk to you about a couple other things that I discovered about this. Here we go. All right, guys. So first, firing tests for the Paradigm PTX Bullpup. Now, admittedly, guys, I had already fired the Overwatch, and I have already fired this out on the range. I knew what it was capable of. Now, I am really curious on a couple of things. Number one, and by the way, this is how many rounds I fired when we were off camera. So I went through an entire rack of these and then this half. So I went through a lot of them. And on the same charge on that canister, and I can tell you that the shots were equal every single shot. In other words, it was like a laser beam. If I'd had this sighted in using a sight, you'd never miss. But the first time I had to actually sight it in so you could see where it was going, and then I was able to adjust. And when I stayed on that adjustment, it was like bam, 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 right through the same hole. So yes, they are ridiculously accurate, even at the 50-foot range, and I guarantee you they would be equally accurate at the 100-foot range and 150-foot range, and we're going to get there sooner or later. But we're going to do this in stages. The next thing, rounds. Now, the VXR rounds, I did find something interesting about these. They're plastic on the back. I don't know if you guys have ever actually seen these rounds, but they're rigid at the front, but they're hollow and plastic at the back. Now, I fired some of these test pepper rounds, and they're actually live rounds, so we're not going to be firing in these on the range. But what you can find out about them is that they're solid up on the top with the pepper, and they're flat on the bottom, and they're noticeably thinner. And I do mean noticeably. So let me bring this up here to the camera, and I want to show you this. All right. By the way, sorry about Stumpy not being on. I explained that to you. All right, so take a look. That's the practice rounds we were firing with the VXRs. This is the pepper rounds. Now put them side by side, and I'm going to show you the difference here, guys. I'm going to line them up on the bottom so you can see. See how one of those is noticeably taller than the other one? That's this round. These are going to fire even better through the PTX because you don't have to worry about these ridges being a tiny bit too long, even though I didn't really see a problem. But these are going to fire even better, which is great, which makes me think that I cannot wait until we get the magazine to fire the kinetic rounds. And trust me, it is coming. I talked to David about it. It's supposed to be in the mail. He has been a little bit busy, needless to say, getting orders together. But I guarantee he'll be in the chat to answer questions about them. So that will be coming soon. I love this launcher. Everybody who has gotten them loves this launcher that I know of, and I haven't seen any issues. I will tell you one thing for sure, guys. This is made by an engineer, so fire it, fire it, fire it. It only gets better. It only gets better. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I know this was a short one. It's a quick fire. We're not doing chrono readings yet. That's going to be when we have the other magazines so we can do them all together. I want to chrono these next to solid rounds, next to Grimberg Jewels, and I cannot wait for that one, I can tell you that. But it is coming soon, hopefully in the next few days. So that is assuming they'll let me off the road from now on in. But guys, if you want that merch, I will try to get it up on the website tonight. Obviously, it's going to be hit and miss because it's kind of a rough day around the old family here. But I will try to get those up, and if not, they should be up in the next couple of days. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a fantastic week. If I don't talk to you sooner, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.